unit. Not a problem. Distribution for, look, nobody's technically not a bad keeper. You watch him tonight, he'll hesitate, and want to kick out a lot of the time.
Alrighty, welcome back to KG5 for the second game in this evening's double-header. It's the Clarence Zebras coming up against the Glenorchy Knights. The equation is thus: the Clarence Zebras need to win by 3 goals, otherwise it will be South Hobart in the final. Any other results, so they need to win by at least 3-0, 4-1, etc. And it will be the Clarence Zebras who are taking on Olympia in next Saturday's decider. Any other result, and it will be a South Hobart versus Olympia final. So big stakes here this evening in game number 2, and hoping for an entertaining game. One hopes that the Zebras are going to go all out on the attack, searching for goals in this one, but at the same time they might just be wanting to continue preparation for the regular season. I won't be too concerned. They'll see how the game plays out before going for goals. The Knights, well, I think they're going to want a big bounce-back performance. They were humbled last week, 2-0 by that young South Hobart team. And there's been plenty said about the Knights. They've got some big-name recruits in this team. They haven't quite delivered thus far. I think James Sherman will be wanting a response in this one as we prepare for kick-off. And sliding back alongside me, ready for the second of the 2 legs here this evening, is Jake Morgan. Welcome back, Mr. Morgan.
And welcome back to our viewers. Long experimental evening that we've had here tonight. Much like the players out there at times. That remains to be seen, I suppose, in this game. Just took a little bit of time getting over there. Did Clarence, just perhaps playing the mind games a little bit there. Not too much of a rush to get things going. Made them wait, which can always be a little psychological mechanism, or it can mean absolutely nothing. You decide. These are certainly going to be 2 of the teams that I think are going to be up there competing with Olympia and Devonport for the title this year. Particularly this Glenorchy Knights outfit, I think, which is going to be underrated by a few coming into this season. Certainly think they'll be looking for at least a 4th place finish this year. And the new and improved Clarence Zebras certainly looking much like the old Zebras out there tonight, but I am told that the new red and black striped kits will be on the way from China very soon. There's obviously a couple of reasons why I could think that is delayed at the moment, but I'm told that it will arrive soon.
Yes, obviously the coronavirus impacting the kit delivery here, but given the starting lineup tonight, I think most of these players were in the Hobart Zebras lineup last year. Two we've seen, I suppose, probably featuring Cody Snell from the Clarence side of things. He's out suspended after picking up 2 yellow cards. Jess Price is another one we'll see plenty of. He's in the stand with his arm in a sling. So Kane Hatcher on the bench tonight was one of the Clarence boys. Outside of that, plenty who played for the Hobart Zebras. New import Quinton Parent we're going to go with. I'm told he's French. Could be Parent, but you know, we'll go Parent. I'm sure he'll correct me if I am wrong. He'll be lining up at centre half. He's a regular partner in the South Korean Arm. He's not playing tonight. Also picked up a couple of slices of cheddar and ruled himself out of that one. It's big Lukey Hughesloot leading the line. He's been in imperious form this pre-season. He's scored a few goals. He's looking pretty dominant up top. The big lighthouse, maybe freed up. No Matthew Sanders this year. So he's the lone striker in their setup, leading the line and absolutely thriving in that role thus far. He'll be well supported tonight by the likes of Pace and McEwen. A pretty attacking lineup from the Zebras. There's plenty of goals out there. And for those just tuning in, wondering what the scenario is, they need 3 goals, and they're threatening to score inside the opening minute here as charging out was Dwayne Walsh. That one repelled by Tyler Harrison. An immediate fast start here. The tempo ticking early on. Jaden Hay, he'll be in the midfield and very, very important to this Clarence lineup this year. He's the captain's armband tonight. He's the archer, Jack Bowman, has played right back for most of the pre-season. He's chipping it up towards Nicholas Naden, who looks to be joining Nowicki up top in the Knights lineup. We've had a little bit of problem in the goal scoring department so far in the Summer Cup, have the Knights. And we're hoping that Naden can be part of the solution in that attacking third and finally produce the goals they've been after.
Certainly a man out there with the name of Danny that I think they could bring in to get a few goals for them.
There's a long throw, comes in, cleared away in the end. And that's just smashed away by Tyler Harrison. That reference out there to Connor Schmidt, who continues his mystifying run of being called Daniel on the Knights team sheets throughout the pre-season. I'm still waiting for that one to be explained, but I'm certain it's Connor out there. But anyway, certainly looks like him anyway. Oscar Thomas, another one who's come across from South Hobart. He and Tyler Harrison, I think, with the makings of a very good central defensive partnership this year for the Knights. I think they're going to be very tough to break down at the back. It's going to be, can they solve their goal scoring problems up top? They'll look to do that tonight, and they might have a bit of room to operate in, especially if the Clarence Zebras do open it up and try and get these 3 goals that they have to win by to make the final. Geordie Muller, another one of those big name off-season recruits. To Reed, just punches this one. And to Muller. Dance well, not really the former liner to an extent, former Zebras player, but of course a new entity, the Clarence Zebras, so I suppose not technically a former player. The magic man Bellini gets on the ball. Look forward to seeing what he can produce out there this evening. Stone Cold Riley Dillon back around for another season. And Perron clears it away. Went looking for Hughesloot, but it was cut out by the archer. Jaden Hay rising over the top. Again, Bellini. So Muller. And just looking around here. Nick Naden. Some tidy passing here from the Knights, and it might open up as Bellini just chips it over the top, and it's easy pickings for Reed.
Well, when I mentioned Danny earlier, it was actually a little subtle reminder to the time that Danny Alsop lined up for the Knights in a cup final or a cup semi-final, I think it was, and my, wasn't that a disappointing display? You've got to say, but they're not looking to a man like that to score goals for them again are the Knights. They're going to persist with what they've got in their squad, but a man like Nowicki is capable of getting goals, certainly capable too of getting yellow cards. Takes a glorious touch there, does Nowicki, just flicks the heel out. It's a hot pass really coming in from Geordie Muller. But one where you react quickly and it falls nicely for you there from Nowicki. This little shove there from Oscar Thomas, showing he knows the dark arts of defending. Too much on it. Just thumped long and high there from Geordie Muller. It's Nick Naden now on the ball. Was closed down by Riley Dillon, but got his pass away. Geordie Muller now, the metronome of this Knights midfield now, formerly the metronome of the Hobart Zebras last year, before that often referred to merger between them and Clarence. One thing that certainly didn't change in the build-up was the Zebras players coming together with the chant Juve. They'll be at pains to keep that part of their identity alive. Some out there may be stressing the element of their Eastern Shore identity and calling them Clarence. But they're looking all right here early, the Knights, holding on to the ball. This little attempted flick there from the Lighthouse is knocked away well by Tyler Harrison. And a throw here for Clarence. And we've got young Nathan Code out there calling the game for us today. Starting to become an experienced customer. Been around refereeing the top flight games now, three or 4 years or so. Despite his tender age, getting a bit of experience together. He's the young man. Nice little contest out there wide, won by Jaden Hay. He's certainly been a stalwart of the Zebras side for many a year. He gets stuck in there well with a nice sliding challenge. Quite a crowded game really, not a lot of space being found by either side at this early stage. Players with no tiredness in their legs tend to close down a little bit better. Certainly see if that manages to be a feature of this game as it goes on. Oscar Thomas now looks out wide. Finds, I think, Connor Schmidt. But don't ask the score sheet, that one. Tyler Harrison looks for the long raking ball, and he does find a man who gets it into Nowicki. Oh, and it was a beautiful little touch there from Nowicki. A lovely save there. Did well to be in the right position, but what a beautifully worked ball that was from Tyler Harrison for the Knights there. Just find his man in space. They are looking on top a little bit here, are the Knights. Looking like a team that can hold on to the ball. And with that man at the base of your midfield, that's certainly not too surprising. Certainly know how much his former manager, Gabriel Marcage, loved that man, Geordie Muller. And he is a real metronome in midfield. Qualities quite similar to the Jorginho. Just beginning to settle into the game now are the Knights. Glenorchy dropped deep, held on to the ball. Continue with another attempt. It's Tyler Harrison with another raked crossfield ball, and it's another good one. A poor touch there taken, though. The competition in space leads to a turnover. Clarence will look to get on the break here. Aerial ping pong going on there before Jaden Hay manages to work it past a man, and the cross is on. He looked to Lukey Huxley, but it didn't have the direction that he wanted. Harrison mops up. Ball again falls into a bit of dispute into the midfield. Juggling skills there, I think, from the Dwayne Pipe, who just bustles his way through, but cannot hold on to it. Can Dwayne Walsh, the Dwayne Pipe?
He's been ever energetic early in this one as Walsh, getting himself forward, very offensive-minded fullback. Of course, the former striker back in the day has been a fullback for a number of seasons now, but used to ply his trade up top, hence the number 9 on his back still. And got an attachment to the number, maybe not so much the position as this one is knocked back there by Perron. Look to play out from the back here as it's thumped long. It should be easily cut out though, and is so there by James. Ooh. Just got there first, did Reed. So Perron, under pressure here from Bellini, forcing the turnover. Out wide for Nick Naden now, looking to cut inside of Cook and charging into the box. Wonderful work from Nick Naden, couldn't find anyone with the cross, and it's going to be brought back for the foul right on the edge of the area. And the Zebras players just say, hang on, surely he got the advantage and had the time to cross. It's not our fault he stuffed up the cross, but as the referee determining didn't have enough of an advantage there. It'll be a set-piece opportunity. Yeah, so a chance here for Wadi Castaneda, standing over the ball. Eduardo very much someone capable of crafting something from here. He's dangerous over the dead ball, though. He's going to let this one go for the Magic Man, who crosses to the back post, headed back down in the end, and gathered by Nathan Reid, who's in net tonight for the Zebras. We've seen he and Josh Jones, two youngsters, sharing the goalkeeping duties through the pre-season, as Smith looks to settle on his number 1. This one's chipped forward and brought down by Jake Thompson, a former Warrior there. Charging after this one is Sunday McEwen, and Lockie Hart sweeps it clear. Oh, Hay just miscontrolling there, now under a little bit of pressure from the Magic Man, and forces the error from Jaden Hay. Uncharacteristically sloppy there is the Zebra skipper. He's going to relish his midfield role this year, I'm certain. There's one just sneaking in, although no real game there. The Knights will retain possession. Both teams just probing early on here. The Zebras needing to win by 3 goals tonight. It's going to be quite the uphill task for them. Otherwise, South Hobart will be taking on the Warriors, who made a clean sweep of the pre-season. No one else is going to get more than 2 wins from their 4 games. Olympia, a perfect 4 from 4, sitting in the final. And then, of course, the defending champions Devonport sitting up in the north. I don't know what they've made of the pre-season action. I think they'll be quietly confident as ever. Maintain most of that squad, added 1 or 2. There's Ryan Cook. Swings this one forward. Absolutely nobody up top for him, though. Huxley was on the other side of the field. The big target man. Allows Harrison all day to play it out from the back. He found Castaneda. Easily intercepted by Dwayne Walsh, though. Dwayne Walsh now charging forward here for the Zebras. Ran straight into his former teammate Muller. In the end, rather scrappily out of play on the far side. Schmidt. Fergus Aitken trying to make something happen. Both teams struggling to keep a hold of possession in the early going here. in the smoothest in possession, either team. Matthew Pace probably gets away with one there on the Archer, and now Nick Naden turns and charges at the Zebras defence, and he shapes the shoot on the left. They allow him to run, sliding it across to Aiken. It's time to bend one just wide of the far post. It took a deflection. It'll be a corner not too far away there from Fergus Aiken, who would probably be an unlikely scorer of the opening goal.
Yeah, it certainly looked like it was dipping towards that far post, but almost as if it was in slow motion, thanks to the pace taken off the ball by that block. I didn't get a good look at who performed it, but they should give themselves a pat on the back. Could have bailed out their goalkeeper just there. So we just hear General Sherman barking out the orders for the Knights there. Curled to the back post. It was Nowicki contesting. Ball's given away, curled straight back in by Waddy Castaneda. It's chaos in the box. Nobody really knew where the ball was, but Jaden Hay, who just says, get out of there, I've had enough of that. Thumps it out for a throw in here. So Schmidt gets things going again. He found Castaneda, who dribbled past one. Couldn't manage to get past another. Up and over from Sunday McEwen. Did find the lighthouse Luke Hoogsloot, and wins his team another throw in. Pace now on the ball. Was closed down with pace by the Knights, who win the ball back. And they get it upfield to Castaneda before it's turned over once again. Certainly looking to move the ball a little bit quicker than the Knights are the Zebras. A little bit more of a possession focus here. Just hear it barked out there from the manager again. Getting to push inside and create a little bit of space out wide. Draws defenders away. We're certainly big fans of General Sherman here at Slice of Cheese. Big fan of the player, big fan of the manager. And he did not get a piece of the ball there. As Waddy Castaneda just asks Code the question there. Is that worth a slice of cheese? Code says no. It's certainly worth a free kick in a dangerous spot though. Straight down the throat of Reid from the free kick there. Not the best work of Waddy Castaneda, who is capable of threatening there. As the ambidextrous Stone Cold Riley Dillon cut back across the other side. Only ended up once again in dispute. Certainly seemed like this game has spent a third in dispute, a third counter-attacking and a third of just maintaining possession from Glenorchy Knights. A little bit of rust out there for that Zebras side. Did well to look for the head of Hoogsloot, but he couldn't find the man who was in an acre of space out wide in Riley Dillon. I'll get another chance though. Beautiful touch from Sunday McEwen. Was nearly punched through, but well defended out there from Schmidt, former South Hobart man. Another former South Hobart man there in Oscar Thomas. He gives the ball away. Pace looks to have a moment of possession here, and that would certainly give you a heart attack if that goes past. Almost give you a heart attack just watching it, to be honest. Reid put under immense pressure there from the back pass. A little bit of weight to it. Certainly a couple of people in the crowd glad they're on blood thinners after that one. Pace looks out wide to a man who certainly looked to replace Geordie Muller's look in midfield for the Zebras. They look in here. Pace just opted to go on the right there when he could have gone on the left, and did go on the left that time, but to no avail. Going to be a throw in here, or rather a goal kick to be taken by Hart.
Apologies to those if you're having a few picture issues this evening. Fighting through a few bandwidth issues here at the moment. Too many people on Netflix here in the Glenorchy region, I think. But as we mentioned from the outset, highly experimental setup here this evening, so to be expected. As this one's just blasted and took a deflection, which Hart will gather. It's been the most thrilling of starts to this game, although a heart and mouth moment there. Both teams their own worst enemies at times so far this evening. As Perrant will try and take this one away. Nice little pass inside for Jaden Hay. Thought about the long ball, but instead opts to swing it across to the door in the centre half there. And he'll just knock it back to Reid. Patience at the back was a hallmark of the Hobart Zebras under David Smith last year, and I think we'll probably see the same with the Clarence Zebras this year, as that was pretty reckless from Jack Bowman. He's just blatantly shoved McEwen in the back. It was off. He's got a yellow ticket there and cannot argue that one. As clear as you will ever get, and right under the referee Nathan Coates' nose. As Tyler Harrison just pointing out another foul that took place elsewhere, but that's neither here nor there for that one really. A very straightforward decision and a good opportunity perhaps for Stone Cold Riley Dillon to do what he so excels at, which is swinging the free kick. He's a lovely striker of the ball, right foot, left foot, doesn't matter. And from set pieces, he's a very creative player. He's racked up the assists over the past couple of years, Riley Dillon. That's a teasing ball in, really bent nicely in to the box. Hugh Sloop gets out there. It was well dealt with by the Knights' defence initially, and now they should be able to see this away through Schmidt, and they do so.
That was such a teasing ball, it was like having wax poured on my chest. It was extraordinary there from Riley Dillon, the shape that he managed to get on that. He's a quality player, certainly a favourite of Slice of Cheese from the moment that he announced himself into the game with a body slam on Nick Morton. It's going to endear yourself to any fans of your new club when you come out, well, fighting like that against a bitter local rival. He's certainly become a quality player too, that is for sure, Riley Dillon. Jaden Hay now plays a beautiful ball through to Hugh Sloot. He looked to link up well there, but Tyler Harrison was equal to it. Finds Wadi Castaneda in some space, but he took a poor touch there and was closed down by Pace before. I think Geordie Muller must have been shot there from the screen, but he will recover. Perhaps was a boot left in on him though. The Zebras now with a long high ball. Sunday McEwen. And geez, he got the header on target pretty well there. It was in a tough contest, but keeper Hart was equal to it. And he just thumps the ball away to be taken care of by Clarence now. And he did get over just in time there, did Oscar Thomas. Certainly could have made his manager a bit unhappy with that one, but managed to get there just in time. General Sherman barking out the orders again. It's going to be a feature, I think. What is looking like a pretty well-drilled Glenorchy Knights team. Certainly the most well-drilled that I've seen in terms of holding on to the ball. But as my co-commentator Andrew touched on a bit earlier, has been a bit of a struggle for them to score goals. Apparently running with Newicki up top. Love to pick the brain of General Sherman a bit more about what he's going with this team, but almost looks like a 4-1-4-1 at times. Geordie Muller sitting deep, dictating the play for them. He just gets back now and manages to hold on to the ball, does the safe option by going to the keeper, who is brilliantly closed down there by pace. Those kind of repeat efforts win you back the ball, and it does there for the Zebras. Just a poor ball in over the top, and you can hear the howls of frustration from a few different people out there.
So Riley Dillon now just getting back into position there as Jack Bowman was making a real searching run down this right wing. Adam McEwen was temporarily covering for him. Now it will go in that direction. Bowman had really made great gains up this wing, had charged up there. Probably known as more of a defensive stopper as a centre-back at South Hobart, but has made the right-back position his own throughout this pre-season. And looks to be set to continue in that role. And we know Sherman is someone who likes his fullbacks to overlap, as this will be Parent from the back. Doesn't have a lot on, so just opts to go short. Themselves in a little bit of trouble there. Geordie Muller looking to win the ball back, tenacious as ever, scrapping away in the midfield. So good at winning that ball back, just playing those short, sharp passes to keep things ticking over. In the midfield is Geordie Muller. Ball in dispute, Bellini trying to weave his way through, and the Magic Man does just that. And then a deft little pass over the top for Nick Naden. And Nick Naden dispatches it past a despairing lead, and it's 1-0 Glenorchy Knights. Chalk that one up to the Magic Man. Bellini weaved his way through traffic. A delightful ball over the top, and Nick Naden does the rest. And the Zebras now need 4.
Well, Nick Naden did very well there, because the ball just did not want to sit for him, did it? Very well dispatched, though, into the bottom corner. And as you rightly give credit to that man, the Magic Man, Bellini. Beautiful little chipped through ball, even if it didn't quite set up. It's a well-earned goal, and no less than they deserved for the Glenorchy Knights. They've really looked the superior team out there in this first half. Giving the ball away poorly there, rather, was Schmidt. You are most vulnerable after you've just scored. So they'll be looking to do it pretty quickly here, you'd think, would be the Clarence Zebras. A beautiful ball out there. And it could be chipped in over the top, but the flag correctly raised there, I think. He had made that run a little bit early, had Newicki. They've got their tails up to the Knights. The ball was just flicked through there by Nick Naden, and it falls to Eduardo Castaneda, who, well, he had Reed diving, but wasn't really close to the goal just there, despite the scramble from the keeper. Doing a brilliant job at pushing high up the field and winning it back high as well are the Glenorchy Knights. Certainly look to be missing the presence of Muller in midfield a bit. Naden now competing with Sunday McEwen. Wins out there, and Bowman, who has been very busy getting up the pitch. We did wonder in one of the earlier pre-season games about just where that man would line up, but he's really making that right back spot his own. Played there a little bit for South, despite being primarily a centre-back, did Bowman. They're playing well here, are the Knights. And the ball looked to be returned there to Schmidt, but always overhit. And Reed looks to get things going out wide. looking to close down every ball when they don't have it, and looking to get into the correct kind of shape to maintain it when they do have the ball of the Knights.
So, again, it's Jack Bowman. Been very busy down the right-hand side. Tap Jack back in temporarily.
As Bowman just heaves it up the line. Well defended there, I think that was Cook. Ball comes into midfield and Code just getting a little bit involved there, but fortunately for him it comes back the way of the Zebras.
Just wearing the other hat for one moment. Sorting out the gate. Plenty of money raised for the bushfire appeal again tonight, I would suggest. A pretty good crowd out here at KG5 this evening for the game as Oscar Thomas sends this one forward. Intercepted though by Jaden Hay, who turns and takes off, but the ball had gone out of play, unfortunately for him, so it's going to go back for a Knights throw. Much to the frustration of the Clarence skipper, who was looking like he was ready to drive the play and make something happen. He's a very active player, Hay. Always looks really busy out there. Fancies himself as the fittest man in the league, just ask him. And the fastest man as well. So, yeah, certainly an athlete in the midfield is Jados. Certainly got the engine for midfield, even if it's clear he's better as a fullback. I'm sure he will absolutely hate me saying. But no, very versatile player is Jaden Hay. He's been played in a number of positions. He's probably been a victim of his own versatility in truth down the years. Has often been the man to plug various gaps, but appears set to be settling down in the central midfield role this year. And with Jordan Muller disappearing from this squad, he's going to be very, very important in that role. He'll need to have a big season for his side. The Clarence skipper is Tyler Harrison. The Knights skipper looking to drive forwards, and he jumps up into the attack too. Receives it back from Naden. Naden punches this one back. Ooh, risky ball when Huxlute's lurking, that's for sure. Those long levers. Nowicki looking to use his powerful frame and does so to shield the ball successfully. And in the end, Muller just picking the wrong option. He had a man wide on the left crying out for it. Tried to drive the home run down the middle. Would have been better off just working the angle on that occasion as Hay immediately besieged by Muller. They're able to play out calmly though. Ryan Cook now from the back, shipping it forward. Harrison, good body work on pace. Really strong stuff that from the Knights central defender. And chasing back this one is Schmidt. Schmidt to Aitken. And Huxlute leaning in there and breaking up the play. A bit of disrupting tonight, Huxlute. Haven't seen him causing, I guess, the terror at the back that he has through the opening weeks of this Summer Cup pre-season competition. Scored 4 goals and has played a handy role in a few more. He's been an ever-present threat in this lineup. Here's Nowicki. Back to the man who set up the first goal, the magic man, Bellini. Trying to make something happen here with Castaneda. And now Nowicki. And he slides it through. That's a great challenge. Perrance coming up big there for the Zebras, the French centre-half. Nicely done there. And Huxlute wins inside the throw-in.
Well, it was a risky challenge, but a good challenge there from Perrant. Maybe the Zebras can manage to get their first reasonable attack here, but they can't. There's a bit of arm throwing going on out there from Huxlute. Looks a bit frustrated out there. He's not getting a lot of service up top. Looking a bit isolated at the moment as this Knights midfield and defence have just hung on to the ball at every available option. The ball taken quickly from Hay. He finds Riley Dillon outside, who links up with Sunday McEwen. Beautiful ball in over the top. Riley Dillon now plays a ball across the face. And just a few questions asked for a shove there on McEwen, I think, who'd gotten around the back, or rather it was pace, but not too many questions being raised by the man himself, so you'd certainly give the referee the benefit of the doubt on that one, but geez. You certainly wonder how the decision could have been if more fuss had been made by the player. Bowman now looking to cut inside a little bit, continually drawing that fullback out of that space, allowing his wide players to benefit from it. Oh, a little bit of chat going on between Bowman and Dillon as well. Dillon's certainly not the kind of customer to shy away from a verbal joust. And the ball just spending a bit of time in dispute here in central midfield. That doesn't change with that throw in, but they've got a bit of space here to the Zebras. The long legs of Lukey Hughes reached out for it, but there's an acre of space out wide here. Bowman looks to connect. Pushes on as wide as the more offensive of the fullbacks today. Before Harrison gets back and covers the space. Looking complete control here to the Glenorchy Knights.
Yeah, I think South Hobart will be breathing a little bit easier after watching the first 35 minutes here. It's unlikely, I'd have thought, that Clarence Zebras will knock 4 past them and in their way into the final. It's the Knights who've looked the better team, and as we flagged, they're always looking for a response here this evening after a disappointing showing last week against South Hobart, as Nathan Coe just wandering over to have a few words with Knights assistants. So maybe some crowd problems the match manager's just being asked to go address, or not sure what the go is there. Anyway, we'll get to the bottom of that at half time. Play continues here as it's flicked on by Bellini. Eduardo Castaneda did really well there. Just keep a hold of the ball through traffic. Won the free kick too. That was nicely done by Castaneda. He was under some pressure. Responded nicely. Tyler Harrison looks up and Wiki wants the ball sent towards him at the top of the box. No surprise. Always a likely target man. Instead he'll knock it back to his keeper. Luke Hughes was aware of that possibility. He was just lingering there. The giraffe Oscar Thomas now. Lifting it forward. And Schmidt wins the throw in off of Walsh. Castaneda couldn't find Naden. Now Muller wins the header in midfield. Back down to Castaneda. Lost it to Thompson. Now Walsh punching it down the line. Hughes with the first time flick was clever, but Thompson gifting it straight back. Both players run underneath that one. Schmidt worked it on to Naden. I think the team just able to keep a hold of the ball. All right now, it's been a scrappy old affair as Walsh shoulders that one out of play. So we tick towards half time here. Knights leading by a goal to nil. Nick Naden, the goal scorer. Here's the man Bellini who set him up. Drops this one back. just a pretty good tempo to the early going this one. Just a bit of a lull in proceedings in the last few minutes, and neither team able to really maintain possession and string anything meaningful together. A bit disjointed. And the Zebras will regain the ball and see if they can get something going, because at the moment he looks up, sees nothing to his liking. Ryan Cook under pressure from Nowicki. McEwen runs clean underneath it. And Bowman with a fancy look-away pass. Bellini for Castaneda, well anticipated though by Perron. And then thought he got the free kick, and he does eventually get it. Castaneda with a bit of a resigned sigh there in the middle, but just enough contact. Certainly looking for it though, the Frenchman.
Yeah, and good to hear the crowd getting around their local team here. A few groans at that decision as they thought that they'd been played through. But he probably was fouled there, was the import Frenchman. McEwen now finds a man in a bit of space, and the deflection pushes all the way up. Thought it was going to go for a corner, but Hart intervenes. Couple of questions being asked about the old 6 seconds there, I think. As the ball was almost beautifully played through there for McEwen, but it's not quite worked out the way they wanted it. And it looks as though FFT haven't paid their power bill. And appears we've lost a little bit of lighting, but no decision from any of the referees about whether or not it's too dark to continue. I certainly think it's bright enough to continue. We do appear to have lost a floodlight or two. Players out there certainly aren't struggling to see the ball as they get on with proceedings.
Once again, just highlighting the urgent need to upgrade this facility, really. When the game's been underfunded for so long, these things tend to happen, but there's certainly been a lot of money spent trying to work on these lights over the last 12 months, and it appears we're still no closer to the resolution. They were going all right, but as you've pointed out, it looks like one's just blown out in the far corner here. Fortunately, one of the corner ones, so it looks like it'll be fine to continue. Tony Peart on the sideline will certainly be one who can judge that. But yeah, the running battle with the facilities here continues.
And it's disappointing too when you see a sport like this that has such incredible grassroots involvement, and yet I can only offer this as a personal opinion, but geez, it's disappointing to see a government that won't prioritise this sport, to be honest. A sport that just continues to grow, and a sport that is continually left with second-rate facilities despite being at the top of the community. Seeing an example of that now, if you're listening, Mr. Gutwin. But now Cook settling on the ball here for the Zebras. He finds the man Hills. He looks to Jaden Hay, who gives a skip of disappointment at that one, and because of that pass he's going to have to get in and defend as Cook hustles out to just usher that one out of play, and Bowman makes a little bit of nothing.
So nearing half time here with just a couple of minutes remaining before we'll head into the sheds. It's the Knights leading a goal to nil, courtesy of Nick Naden. Flag him as potentially the man that could solve their goal-scoring woes. And thus far he has. That was very tidily done by Pace dropping back into midfield. Hugh Sloot also a little bit deeper, and he finds Riley Dillon in this darkened corner of the ground. He takes on Jack Bowman, beats him too. Some support comes though in the form of Whitey Castaneda. Luke Hugh Sloot dropping really deep, and allowed to get away with that was Riley Dillon. I thought a foul on Bowman, but Nathan Code just suggesting he went down a little bit too easily for his liking. Tyler Harrison very much arguing the point, and probably had a case there. Dillon did seem to get a little handsy, and Bowman just staying down, so the trainer's going to run out and just see to him. And Knights will get themselves sorted to defend at this set piece, looking to maintain their lead. There's a bit of a delay here. He seems to be clutching at his right knee, and hopefully for the Archers' sake, there's nothing too serious. Yeah, it seems to be getting the back of the calf worked on. None of the other players seem too fussed by it. They're just kind of getting back ready to defend the corner, and back to his feet now. So hobbled a little is the Archer Jack Bowman, but seems to be right. He was one of the defenders who'll be important defending this set piece. Luke Hughesloot set up shop at the near post, and immediately Oscar Thomas, who's probably, if you could pick any defender in the competition, maybe outside of Kieran Mulroney, he's probably the one you'd pick to mark him in the physical stature stakes. He's certainly one of the few people who has the lighthouse covered. They've got two men marking him. They go a bit more central. It's all dealt with in the end. Nick Naden, I think, got the most meaningful piece of that, and Fergus Aiken able to steer this one away to Jaden Hay. Hay with a sweeping ball. And smashing it into the open space there for Naden to track down. Just waited to initiate the contact there with Perrant. Wanted to take him on. That's why. Beats him all ends up. Nick Naden swings the cross in for Glenorchy. Straight at the keeper. And Nick Naden, that was slick out on the wing. You could tell he could have got to the ball much earlier. He wanted the defender to engage so he could just beat him. And beat him he did with a lovely little turn. And it was a good cross too from Nick Naden. Been dangerous tonight here. As Naden has the goal. He's going to be a big player for this Knights side this year. A real key mover. That one is charged down by Walsh. The half-time whistle, I thought, was about to be imminent, and indeed it is. Nathan Code brings an end to proceedings in the first 45. It's Glenorchy Knights 1-0, and it's looking increasingly like a South Hobart versus Olympia decider next weekend.
Yeah, it certainly is. Just on that last chance there from Nowicki, it really looked like he had more time on his hands there than an unemployed man. Just couldn't get the right direction there. It was a good chance and well worked from the Knights there, who completely deserve their 1-0 lead going into half-time, to see if there is a response from the Zebras. We'll give you a little bit of an update too on the lighting situation. But it's bye for now, and we will see you in another 15 minutes.
Yes, you better sort that out, mister.
Yeah, I'll just turn into an electrical engineer.
said it was a week too early. I said, oh, so it's so much So we went to the so I ended up so that's how I end up with whole heart. And when we were talking about the joints, Paul Harvey said he depends on, he said, he said, 12 years. When I spoke to Greg Harvey said, no, the last sort of game, if you're going to try and do marathon, it's a different matter. He said, but it shouldn't take so long. So I don't know it's the old play ball. It's amazing. He said, it's to the millimeter. So he was having his training and whatever. He wouldn't want something. Both of them bad, apparently, and just what right, you walk, try and compensate. And I sort of know this one.
John, so I'm reviewing salty prices. Yeah, no. But I never go last one.
And we're back for the second half here at KG5. Lights restored in all their glory. No problem resolved. So one of our ARs, Tony Pett and myself, did the dash there to get that one sorted. Moonlighting as electrical engineers. Anyway, we're off and running. We can see the game a hell of a lot better now. It's the Knights leading by 1-0 thanks to Nicholas Naden, who had no problem seeing the ball when it bounced his way at the top of the box early on in that first half. A delightful finish from him, finishing off the work of the Magic Man Bellini. And here is the Bull Nowicki. He's been his usual physical force up top. You can see if he can get himself involved in this second half. Oh, Bellini tidy again. And then tries to replicate the first goal by just dinking one over the top. But on this occasion, Nick Naden had straight off his line. And here's Perrance. Made a crucial challenge in his box during that first half. Absolutely saving the day. This one just over the top of the Lighthouse's head, and away goes Tyler Harrison. Perrance shipping it over the top. Flicked on by pace. Hughes-Luke comes and chests and then volleys it brilliantly over the top. That was clever from Hughes-Luke, but just a bit too much on it. Good positioning from Tyler Harrison. He's back to save the day. Zebras looking up the tempo a little here. Walsh cleared away. So we'll see if the Zebras can get themselves back on terms here. Hughes-Luke. Muller. Sliding in was Pace. He knows only one way. Matthew Pace, ever energetic around the pitch. He's a player who really emerged last year as one of the best frontmen in the competition. Scored a number of goals and very, very classy young footballer, Matthew Pace. Going to be an important man up top with Hughes-Luke. Nathan Coe's just going to have a word with Tony Peart, his AR over here, who's spotted something. I'm not sure what that was all about, but we're going to go again. Clarence headed Headed forward by Muller, Jaden Hay. Dealt with there by Fergus Aitken. Really unfortunate not to get a free kick there, Jaden Hay. Switching ball played there, it's a good one too. Riley Dillon, let's fly on the left, and Lockie Hart shows safe hands. He had to. Luke Huxley was lurking there, just sniffing about looking for a rebound. It was a lovely ball from Sam Hills that sprung Dillon into space. And now Bellini is grabbed onto there by Riley Dillon, and I've got to assume that one might be for persistent fouling there. Shy of a slice of cheese is Riley Dillon, but he's dished up a dose of dairy there by Code. Tyler Harrison will take the free kick. Harrison chipping it forward, looking for Nowicki. Yeah, my big burly frontman mixed up there temporarily. I've seen Alex Lazinski rolled out for Knights in this pre-season. Not sure if he's part of the plans this year or not. Big Nowicki has been playing that front man role. This one's shipped forward. Tyler Harrison leading back in the race, opting for the safety of the line. Steering that one away from Samuel Hills. That looks suspiciously like a foul throw. Yeah, indeed spotted. Unconventional technique, to say the least, on that one. I don't think he quite expected to release it when he did. But it is the pre-season, I suppose. Bellini. And that's a rather sloppy turnover, that one. Tyler Harrison on that occasion. Cross played in and directed behind. Another corner. The Zebras looking a little bit better early in this second half. Taking the attack to them. Jack Bowman has been subbed off during the halftime break for the Glenorchy Knights. Looks like he's succumbed to that little knock he picked up prior to half-time, and given they can't make the final, absolutely safety first. The right approach to be taken there for the Knights. Dangerous corner. Not well dealt with. Oh, an absolute blast by the Dwayne Park. He smashes it home. That's a cracking hit into the back of the net. And it's 1-1 here at KG5. Dwayne Walsh with an absolute rocket. Well, he used to be a striker. And he's showing just why with that hit. Ferocious shot. Roofs it into the back of the net. And it's 1-1. And the Hobart Zebras get their reward for a strong start to this second half. They've been knocking on the door. And that is a cracking hit from Walsh. They get the goal from the free kick. Well, corner kick, sorry. That was a spectacular strike from Walsh. 1-1. Now, they still need another 3 goals here, the Zebras, but every indication they've given early on is they're going to have a crack at it. They're certainly doing the bulk of the attacking. There's plenty of goals in their side out there tonight. And then one steer behind for a corner, but this game has done a bit of a 180 here in the second half so far. They're looking pretty sharp. Now the Clebbers. Corner opportunity here. Riley Dillon standing over it. Matthew Pace comes. 2 defenders covering it, so they'll just swing this one in instead. When you've got someone like Riley Dillon, why not? Up in the air it goes. Keeper needs to be strong in the air. He wasn't. Oscar Thomas steering it away in the end, but struggling to defend these corners here at the moment are the Knights. And they'll just keep pumping it back in. And do so once more. Away by Schmidt. Riley Dillon. Ships it in looking for Huxley. Just getting in the way was Bellini. It might fall for Huxley though. Huxley on the angle. And, well, it's taking a deflection behind for a corner. And the big Lighthouse wreaking a little bit of havoc. That's what he's done throughout the pre-season. And if they just keep pumping these balls in the air in his direction, I think it'll bode pretty well for them. It's Riley Dillon getting plenty of opportunities to serve up his set-piece delivery here in the second half. He's one of the best in the business. Here's Dillon, relishing the opportunities. He sends in another ball that gets to the middle of the box, repelled away this time though. Nowicki is agricultural kind of challenge from pace, but did well to win the ball in the end from behind. Takes a fair effort to put big Nowicki on his rear end. The good thing about Nowicki, he dishes it out, but he can certainly take it. He was straight back to his feet there. Relishes the physical contest. Bellini again with his dribbling skills. Treading on the ball was Castaneda. Going back control of it now. Nowicki can try and bring in Bellini. Turns and slides it looking for Naden instead, but well done by Cook on that occasion. Cook just smashes that one to the wing. Castaneda looking for Nowicki, couldn't find him. And then Ferguson cleverly playing it off pace to win the throw in. Walsh wants the decision and gets it. And did a pretty good job selling that one, did the Dwayne Pop. Hughes slewed up against Thomas. The Giraffe and the Lighthouse, two towering figures. Just about the two tallest in the comp, I'd have thought. Quick throw taken long, Schmidt away. The two number 10s dueling. Castaneda gets the better of Hay. In steps Walsh. It was just a little bit late and unnecessary there on Castaneda. Didn't really need to do that. Just relieves the potential of a counter-attack and sees Knights get the ball back. Schmidt will take the set piece. One might fall for Castaneda. Deflected as Walsh tried to clear the area. Back to Bellini, who want to get into his left foot here, and he steers one looking for Nowicki, who was sizing up the possibility of a little bicycle effort there, but just out of his reach, unfortunately for everyone in attendance. Let me know if you have occasion. So the Knights 1-1. Of course, if this game's a tie, we'll go to what will probably be the most pointless shootout in the history of the sport. With neither team able to advance into the final, and this being the final group stage game. But possibly some good practice for their respective Laka Seljuk Cup matches they'll have in early April. And that gets back underway for the NPL sides. Reed, long, searching ball. Hughesloot just ducked under it, allowed it to run for Riley Dillon. Tried a little spin move. Hills, McEwen, back to Hughesloot. Well defended by Geordie Muller though. Negotiated the situation with maturity there. Now Schmidt. Oh, under pressure from Pace. He wins it back for the Zebras here, Pace. He's got Hughesloot in the middle. He cuts it back further and placed beautifully. Oh no, deflected off the line. A great block to deny Riley Dillon. What appeared a certain Zebras goal. And what a big moment that could have been. A 2-1 lead that'd only be 2 goals away from a final berth. Nowicki up against Parent and Walsh. Wants a free kick. Doesn't get one. And then Parent takes off back the other way, the big centre half. Nowicki still eager to engage here with Walsh. Great physical battle developing here. Perron from the blind side wins it. When Walsh, I think, just having had enough of the situation, just blasted away and says, let's have a throw in and a pause for a substitution as Lockie Burt appears set to enter the fray. And he'll replace Hills in the midfield for the Cleberers. But the intensity of this contest just rising in recent moments. There's a bit of feeling out there, some real physicality, certainly where Matt Nowicki is concerned. We expect no less, but the Dwayne Pipe and Perrons certainly looking to match him in the physical stakes. Bellini just kind of uses the peck there to just glance that one across to Castaneda. And Geordie Muller slices this one out. McEwen. Nice ball for an overlapping Dillon. An ever willing runner is Riley Dillon. Just eluded the substitute Lockie Bird. And that's appears destined for the creek. Knights look set to introduce Backhouse in a moment, who's impressed on a wing so far in the pre-season. We'll see if he can make an impact. Former Hobart Zebras player. So far for the Knights. So a likely type. As that one's out of play just for the goal kick. That might allow full sub to be made. So Fergus Aiken is the man who Backhouse will replace, and he immediately moves across to the left wing. And he'll join Nowicki and Naden on the front line. As Lockie Hart smashes this one in the middle. Bellini against Hills. It's Thompson who went off Clarence before, my apologies. Not Samuel Hills, who's just bobbed up there. It's Thomas coming through the back of Hughes. He just rather stepped aside and said, have it. That was an interesting one. Real slapping noise off the arm of Oscar Thomas there. It's been a good duel between those two. Here's Nick Naden. Juggled the ball on his head, but eventually lost it to Jaden Hay. Over the top, Hughes looking for it. Well defended Thomas, but might fall for Jaden Hay. He turned back onto the left and just allowed Bellini in. Harrison under pressure. Schmidt. And then Naden again, who has been prominent tonight. Hughes just wrestling him there, trying to get him down. And in the end, a free kick given. Oscar Thomas. To Schmidt. Played plenty of football together at South Hobart, that pair. Backhouse. Back to Thomas. Schmidt holding off the attentions of pace, and to do so, just had a fistful of shirt. There's a few disagreeing with that, fair to say, on the Knights bench. He's not overly happy with that decision, as the Knights will again look to carry it forward here. Shipped over the top, looking for Nowicki. Oh, keeper all at sea, hits the deck. What's the referee's decision going to be here? Big moment in this game. The keeper is surely the one who's infringed, and just a yellow card for Reid, who came flying out. Didn't really have the physical build to do too much damage to Big Nowicki there, but he did just enough to put him off, it's fair to say. In the end, probably a good slice of cheese to take, because it was a dangerous situation. And in the end, probably a trade-off that the Clarence Zebras would take every day of the week. It was quite ungainly stuff there. Castaneda, an obvious man over this dead ball. Bellini might also fancy it. Nick Naden hovering about, but we'll see who goes. plenty of candidates. Looks like it might be Bellini who gets it though. It's going to be Bellini. Oh, just over the top. The Magic Man has already dazzled some fancy trickery to set up the first goal. Unable to make the net bulge on this occasion. But he wasn't too far off. Brought down by McEwen. Hughesloot, an ill-directed header. Falls onto the knee of Hay. Now Hills. Swings it over the top. Just puts Pace out on the right wing. He'll take on Schmidt here, Pace. Deflects back off of him. And handball is given. Slightly tough one there, unnatural position, but it was kind of the follow through from his kicking motion there. He cannon back into him immediately. I suppose it was extended. Hart not liking what he's seeing here, the Knights number one. Ships it up, looking forward to Wiki. Both players are underneath the ball, however. Pace. Nice from Walsh. But a stretching Samuel Hill was just unable to keep that one in. Poor ball from Castaneda. Straight to Perron. And then rather heavy first touch there. Maybe anticipating Walsh was going to continue his run. He's shown no hesitation to get forward tonight. Their new centre half, the Zebras. And he's certainly gone marauding forwards on a few occasions. Thomas just out pointing Hughesloot in the air. Bellini's sharp turn, such a feature of his game, one way then the other. And then swings a glorious ball over the top for Naden. Dillon did pretty well defensively though, just to hold him up. He turns onto the left, Nick Naden. Shot was blocked and Jaden Hay gets back to clear. But he has been living up to his nickname this evening, Bellini. Some of those balls over the top have really unlocked this defence. Castaneda. Muller back to the Giraffe. Oscar Thomas. Bellini. Nowicki. Looking for Castaneda, cut out by Dillon, who tried to turn defence into attack, and it just allowed Castaneda back in. And in the end, a free kick has been blown here by Nathan Code. And it's going to be a Knights ball here, I think. So, another opportunity from the dead ball. Once again, it's going to be Bellini to take. Plenty of bodies forward. Tyler Harris and Oscar Thomas come up from the back. Bellini just a bit too much on that one, looking to find Thomas at the back post. Floats harmlessly wide of Nathan Reid's net, as it looks like a substitution being ready by the Cleverers. Shautiel Tuyashimi, thankfully known more commonly as ST for the commentators. He's going to come on here and replace Samuel Hills. So he'll operate in central midfield, like for like replacement there. Cook up to Reid. Now Perron. Over the head of McEwen. Naden. Geordie Muller. They're being forced backwards here, the Knights. In the end, just opting for the safety of the line was Jack Kupsch, the man who came on for Bowman at half-time. Challenge from behind by Pace. And he's going to go into the book and earn himself a slice of cheese. And James Sherman is not happy with some of the tackling from the Zebras players. He is furious on the sidelines, feeling his players are being brutalised a little bit out there. And just telling the Zebras bench that maybe they should pull their players' heads in because it's just a pre-season fixture. He's not happy with the treatment his players are receiving. And there certainly have been some agricultural challenges out there, to say the least, tonight. And Sherman not at all happy with it. Last thing he wants is some injuries to some key players before round one of the NPL season. Of course, they can't make the finals. The Zebras still could, but they're going to need to find 3 goals here in the last 20 minutes or so, which seems unlikely, especially with the Knights doing the bulk of the attacking right now. Nowicki loses the ball, then wins it back. And another free kick here, Lone. And the Knights faithful just getting a little agitated too up here in the crowd. I think they're overly happy about the treatment their players are receiving either. It may only be the pre-season, but a few emotions riding high out here at KG5 this evening. Castaneda. Great ball. Oh, Reed Kane just got a piece of it, dropped it down, and it's cleared away. It was a teasing ball from Whitey Castaneda, the keeper of the strongest hands, but did just enough to deal with it. Nowicki was lurking. This one's launched over the top. Riley Dillon. Chips it in looking for Hughesley. Oscar Thomas beating him in the air. Jaden Hay just got outpointed a little bit there. And in the end just says nah, and just shoves Castaneda to the ground. And he too will receive a slice of cheese. It's raining cheese at KG5 right now. Dairy fans' delight right now. Yet another yellow card is issued. I think that's the fourth one, no, the fifth one of the evening for the Zebras. Knights have got one, so 6 bookings here this evening in the pre-season game. And probably could have been a couple more issued at times too. In truth, there's a long ball over the top. Again, Hughesley and Thomas duel, and again Thomas does well. One of the few players in the league who is going to be able to beat Luke Hughesley in the air. And it is a very animated James Sherman down on the Knights bench. I wish we had a Sherman cam right now. It would be terrific viewing. You're missing out, those who aren't at the ground, I assure you. There's been a bit of talk about, pre-game, post-game handshakes in light of the coronavirus. So it'll be interesting to see, just in terms of the nastiness on the pitch, how many people are shaking hands after this one tonight. Whether the rival managers do. Sergio Pace in charge of the Clarence Zebras outfit tonight. Dave Smith over in England, I believe. Here's Ryan Cook. Dillon treats back to Reed. Almost let in Nowicki, who was lurking. Well done Muller to win that one. Now Bellini. The Knights just dwell patiently on the ball for a moment, probing, trying to find an opening. Carrying it forward is Oscar Thomas, who's really excels on the ball, the big centre half. Comfortable playing out from the back. Connor Schmidt's made a really good run here, but his cross didn't quite match the intelligence of the run, and he picks out only Nathan Reed. Slightly better ball, might have found Nowicki there. Knights knocking on the door, looking for the go-ahead goal. Pace dropping deep. Walsh. No one up there, although Burt's made a pretty good run. Made a good fist of it to get there first. Harrison should be able to deal with it and opts for safety first. Just steers it out of play and will allow his defence to get back into position. Dwayne Walsh, does anyone have what would be a match-winning goal? 20 minutes left to play. Or are we set? for the most irrelevant penalty shootout in footballing history. Tune in, stay tuned to find out. Walsh looking for Hughes-Lute. Dylan runs it down away by Naden. Here's Tuyashimi. He turns and couldn't find Hughes-Lute. Wasn't quite anticipating the pass. Nowicki up against Cook. Has some support in the form of Perrine, but well done Nowicki. He might have just slightly overhit that one for a Castaneda though. Just allowed Walsh in. He's had a really good game tonight, Dwayne Walsh. And it's got the Zebras goal. And a very good two-way player for them. Muller. Good cross run back, house to Nowicki. Lead with the close range save, but the rebound is buried home by Nowicki. And the Knights take a 2-1 lead. Have some sympathy for the young keeper there who made a tremendous first stop, but it bounced right back at the feet of big Nowicki, who deposits it home, and the Knights lead 2-1. And it might just be the pre-season in a game that won't impact the final, you'd say now, but jumping for joy was James Sherman on the near touchline. I think he's been a little bit fired up by this one. He wants the victory. He wanted a response from his lads out there tonight. He's got it. They lead 2-1. I think South Hobart can breathe pretty easily now, as it's going to be them meeting Olympia in the Summer Cup final on the 14th of March at this same venue. The 4:30 kickoff. Of course, the women's beforehand at 2 o'clock. That'll be Olympia and the Clarence Zebras. A big double header at KG5. Do get out there for it. Should be a cracking day of football. And now Nick Naden looking to drive another nail into the coffin here and secure the victory. As Kupch is just told to retreat a little. But well done Ryan Backhouse on that assist too. Just a real quality cross. They probably just lacked a little bit tonight in wide areas, the Knights. They've gotten to some good positions and picked out the centre backs. Well, he found his centre forward on that occasion. And the substitute making an impact. Nowicki needed 2 bites at it, but he got the goal. Now, can the Zebras respond? I'd say place in the final is pretty much beyond them at this point, but they can still get a result in the game. Backhouse, Castaneda. Just behind Backhouse there, just hit him on the back of the heel, and Castaneda with an interesting way of trying to dispossess Dwayne Walsh, drawing a free kick there. And a sub being readied here by the Zebras. Looks like Kane Hatcher is going to have a run out, and he'll replace Pace. Hatcher, one of the Clarence United players in this squad. Forward again to that Hughes-Lute-Thomas duel, and Thomas has taken the points tonight. Hughes-Lute has absolutely monstered just about everyone he's come up against in the pre-season this year, but Thomas has been a good match for him tonight. He's probably had the better of that duel. Here's Bellini. Oh, knocked it right into the back of Nick Naden, and perhaps the arm, in fact. There's a free kick blown there. Picked back up by Geordie Muller. Bellini. Naden. Nowicki. Back to Castaneda. And he found Backhouse. So an impact since coming on. He loses out here though to Hatcher, the substitute, the fresh legs. Free kick blown there by Code. Nowicki can't quite find a stretching back house on that one. Back to Reid, who want to get his preferred left foot. Certainly didn't want to take that one on the right there, the young keeper. There's ST. Goes back to Reid again. So we approach the final 10 minutes of this one. Hugh Sloot. Probably the man you'd want on the end of it rather than setting it up. So he worked that one to Burt. Now to Yoshimi. Searching ball, looking for Walsh, who made another lung-busting run down the right, but just a bit too far out ahead of him on this occasion. He's covered some serious territory tonight, Dwayne Walsh. With the GPS tracker on him. Just about have everyone else on the pitch covered, I reckon. Has not stopped working down that right-hand flank. Here's Nick Naden. Held off the attentions of Dylan Well. Worked it to Castaneda. Walsh. Hay. Oh, and then Oscar Thomas has tackled his own man. Absolutely thwacked into Geordie Miller there. Absolutely stitched his own teammate up. Nowicki giving chase here up against Perron. It goes down just a little bit easily. Oh, the Knights faithful don't like that. He was looking for it, and he got it. And a slice of cheese for Nowicki too. And I believe that's referred to as the Bronx coming from the crowd right now. Just overly thrilled with that decision. And perhaps persistent fouling, but that did seem a slightly soft one for mine. And Fred Legoo appears set to be introduced here, who appears to have his own fan club in attendance. They have absolutely gone up there seeing him on the sideline. That might be the end of Nowicki's night. I think James Sherman just saying, you know what, we don't need him picking up a red here, Nowicki. We'll keep him right for the regular season. I must say, for someone who perhaps at times has been a little bit temperamental on the pitch, Nowicki, he handled himself really well there, did not react at all. Just took the yellow, dealt with it, didn't protest, just copped it on the chin. I think that'll please Sherman. But his night is over now as Legoo comes on. And there's a certain section of this crowd who will be really hoping he can make something happen. They were delighted to see him trotting over there to be subbed on. Deflects off Burt, little flick from Backhouse. Quite fine Legoo. Hay finds Hugh Sloot. Working back in defence was Backhouse. Harrison to Schmidt. ST finds Hay. Back to ST, to Yoshimi. Scrapping away with Bellini. Retreats to Cook. And Backhouse just a bit too far out ahead of Castaneda there with the first time ball. Oscar Thomas again, imperious in the air tonight, the Giraffe. There's Legoo, and that was a foul on Walsh. I don't think they can protest that one too much. Although, a few slightly one-eyed fans, as I said, the Legoo fan club is out in force here tonight. But I think even they would admit that one was a freak. Perrant to Burt. There's a poor pass from Walsh, straight to Oscar Thomas. They might be opened up back the other way. Nick Naden bursting out ahead of Cook here. He's got two in the middle. He plays the first time across, looking for Backhouse. Couldn't quite find him. Look at James Sherman jumping again. He's riding every moment of this one. He's invested. Backhouse slid it in, but Lagoo just not quite on the same page as his winger there. But still plenty in this game, despite the fact that neither of these teams will be playing in the final, barring anything extraordinarily unlikely in the final few minutes here. It'll take a hell of an implosion from Knights at this stage with about 6 minutes left in regulation. The Zebras would need to score 4. And I think we can rule that out. There's Oscar Thomas, who's been superb tonight. Dwayne Walsh absolutely blasting this one. And keep up. Lockie Hart will be able to pick it up. And here's Jack Kupsch, who may well find himself in line for a start come round 1, depending on how Jack Bowman pulls up from appeared to be an injury he suffered just prior to half-time, didn't resurface after the half-time break. Having a knee in the back of his leg kind of looked at. Didn't go off immediately at the time. So hopefully nothing too serious. There's more precautionary as Lockie Burt trying to make something happen there. Or indeed Kane Hatcher, sorry. The other of the two in this squad tonight who've come from Clarence United, part of the merger. Burt with colours in both camps. Maybe perhaps the man behind the merger, who knows, the former Zebra and Clarence player. Probably unlikely hypothesis, but spent his last 2 seasons, one at each club. Should have both kits at the ready at any rate. Whilst they wait for these new ones, delayed, of course, for those tuning in tonight, wondering why they're wearing the old Hobart Zebras kit. There's obviously some issues with shipping from China at the moment, so it's just holding that one up. As another free kick opportunity. We'll raffle this. Connor Schmidt wandering up, or Daniel Schmidt. I'm going to have to get to the bottom of that. His name's changed in the system. Might have opted for a name change. Could have been a middle name he's now going by. I'll need to investigate that one. But playing at full back, and it's going to be Castaneda to take this one anyway, and I've seen him score from similar range before. He can get this up and over. It's going to be Castaneda. Straight to Reed. Safe pair of hands there. He's very good at getting the ball up and down, getting that bend on it, Castaneda. Does it better than most. Really generates some serious revolutions on the ball. And there's Hatch up, just unable to control that one. Backhouse. Will eventually cleared away. And Thomas again in the air. A good game tonight, the Giraffe. And one of the best on ground for mine. Here's Dwayne Walsh. He's fought hard, but the Knights win it back, and Bellini, who set up Naden once, trying to do so again. He'll want to get back onto his left foot here. Will Nick Naden. And sends him wide. It was well defended there. And behind it goes for a corner. Getting a little piece of the cross. Good aware defending from Ryan Cook though. Knew that Naden wanted to shape back onto that left foot, denied him the opportunity to do so. Swung into the back post, not dealt with at all by Reed. It's pinballing around the box and they're just going to escape. Muller now finessing one. Oh, fumbled by Reed. Might fall there. Oh, for the crowd favourite, Lagoo. The offside flag had been raised on him anyway. So probably a good thing he didn't score, to be honest there, Fred Lagoo. Or we might have had a full-scale riot or pitch invasion from his fan club, who definitely wouldn't have wanted to see a goal ruled out for him. They got very excited there when they sensed the ball would fall to him. I have no idea how that ball stayed out of the net in the end. Reid struggling under the high ball. He's obviously a young keeper with a short stature, and teams are going to be putting the big bodies on him. Certainly not the natural build for a keeper. Great reflexes on him, but will be tough under those high balls. There is Lagu. Did nicely. Worked it to Naden. Naden cuts it back for Castaneda. Some time here for Whitey Castaneda. Back out for Lagu. Just found Backhouse, and now Castaneda. A fresh airy. Well, they refer to those ones as. Didn't connect at all with the ball, and in the end, Kane Hatcher. Just a bit of a hatchet of a clearance, really. Just smashes that one away. Anywhere will do. And Castaneda suffering from a little bit of cramp, I think. As the trainer is waved on. I'd assume it's just cramp, given the way his teammates are, in the inverted commas, dealing with the problem. If it isn't, they're probably not helping him a great deal, I wouldn't have thought. But seems to be just a bit of cramping up here, a bit of time wasting perhaps. The gamesmanship as we eke towards stoppage time here. The Knights protecting a 2-1 lead, looking to claim the victory here tonight. It won't be enough to send them through to the final. It will still be South Hobart going through. The Knights we'll see one final substitution. We will. We'll see one final sub here for the Glenorchy Knights. And Harry Huxley. Harrison Huxley. Well, there's a famous name. Obviously one Huxley already out there on the pitch in the opposite colours, but a very famous name at Glenorchy Knights is Huxley. And we'll see what he can produce. Here he is, immediate chance to show what he can do. And he's got a bit of a cult following too, young Harry Huxley. Some nice skills there as Hatcher goes tearing after that one, unable to track it down. Glenorchy Knights, well, these two teams in fact open up the season against each other. Their round one opponents will be a rematch of this game, and there might just be some extra feeling in it, a bit of residual off the back of this one. There's been some ill will out there at times tonight for a pre-season game, but both teams will obviously be eager for a first up win. That's going to be a huge round one clash. So Knights will pick up their first victory of the pre-season competition, as Kingborough did in the game beforehand. So two teams coming in without a win. They drew with each other. It's the points they've received previously in the comp. Knights taking 2 points from that game, winning the little bonus point penalty shootout that's a feature of the Summer Cup. So Knights look like they'll finish in third place on 5 points. And South Hobart's 2 wins and 6 points enough to secure second spot. Olympia, of course, 4 from 4, securing top spot in the round robin phase of the comp. Although that could still change, because there is an opportunity here for a late Clarence Zebras goal. Sunday McEwen, some time and space wide, and he's going to stand up the defence and have a run at them. In the end, Kupch came in and helped out Harrison, sawed away. And that's not just about be enough as Lagu hits the deck. There can't be too long left in this. Sensing that is Perrant, he goes streaming forwards here, the centre back. Did really well and found Huxley, not quite, because guess who was there? It was Oscar Thomas once again. He's been a man mountain tonight, Thomas. An immense performance from him. And I think he and Harrison are going to be one of the more formidable centre-half pairings in the league this year. Walsh, oh, great cross, unmarked McEwen! Oh, squanders a glorious chance. He was unmarked all alone at the back post. And he heads wide of the mark. An inexplicable miss there from Sunday. A player of his experience And indeed, goal-scoring history you expect just to put that one away. And could well have secured a 2-2 draw and sent us to the spot kicks. But the bullet dodged there. Perhaps someone just switching off just to 30 seconds too early there with their marking duties at the back for Knights, and it's nearly cost them that one. Now can Lagoo pounce at the other end? No. Cook was there to snuff that out. Reid to Perrant. Perrant opts to take him on. Not sure of confidence the French centre half. Reid. ST, and there is full time on this game and on the group stage of the Summer Cup competition. A victory for Glenorchy Knights, their first of the pre-season comp. They'll end on 5 points in third place. But that result is good news for South Hobart. It means their loss to Kingborough early in the evening does not matter. They will still move on to the final where Olympia awaits. So a 2-1 victory for Glenorchy Knights here earlier this evening. It was a 2-1 victory for the Kingborough Lions. Our finals matchup next Saturday at KG5. The 14th at 2 p.m. we'll have the Women's Cup final first up. It'll be Olympia taking on the Clarence Zebras, a rematch of that Super League decider last year. And then at 4:30, South Hobart and Olympia. Fair to say there will be plenty on the line for that one, as well as the silverware. There's a great rivalry between those two, which has just been ratcheted up a few more gears with the off-season moves of some key players like Gorrie, Hamlet and Farrell. They'll face their former team. It'll be Olympia and South Hobart. That's next Saturday for you. We'll have both games live streamed for you. The full usual live stream, not so much the experimentation next weekend. But myself, Andrew Cooling, here at KG5 this evening. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage. It's good to have football back. It was an entertaining pair of games here this evening. And we're back in a week's time with the Summer Cup finals. Bye for now.
Mate, I won't be here. I won't be here. We'll be in Queensland. Yeah, we go away this time every year, so Powley's in charge, so I don't know what he's going to do. It's all up to him. No, serious.